And yeah, you guys don't have to stay for a long time by all means. We tend to run long, but
No worries. I just might get pulled for a photo shoot.
okay,
We'll see.
cool. All right. Okay. Let me know when we're ready, Tyler.
We are ready.
We are ready. All right. Last interview of the day is always my favorite. And I think we're going to end on something a little bit more of a serious note. We've got Sterling and Rebecca here from Cap for Kids. So tell us, what is Cap for Kids?
We are a...
Oop, hold on. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Oh, no, he's not on.
I
we
turned him
go.
off too.
Okay. All right, cool.
There we go.
So Cap for Kids, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization that raises money and awareness for kids with cancer. We kind of saw this need. There's a lot of charities out there, but not a lot that actually can help. Not only help the kids kind of get better and get over cancer, but also help the families through that difficult transition, especially financially. So we help in two ways. Number one, through hospital visits. So we can go and cheer up the kids. We do that on a regular basis. You'll find us at Children's Hospital Colorado, Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children on a fairly regular basis. And then the other side is where most of the money goes that we take goes to help families that we sponsor. So we'll sponsor, like this year, we'll sponsor 3, hopefully quite a few more next year. And we'll help them with their medical bills, their mortgage payment, car payment, things like that. Because our belief is that if we can reduce the financial stress of the family, then the child has a better chance at recovery.
Wow. Where did this all start? Where did this come from?
So I don't know if you want to...
You can tell your origin. Am I on?
Yeah,
You're on. You guys have to go right into
Right up
it.
to it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there you go.
Okay. So several years ago, I think, 3.5 years now, I've had a bunch of friends who do professional cosplay, and they've always told me, hey, you should be Captain America. You should do that. And I thought, gosh, that'd be so much fun. But I've got 2 jobs already. I don't know if I would ever have time to do that. So that was happening. And then also I had helped to raise funds for several other organizations that were helping kids with cancer, and this kind of, and getting to know I guess, remotely these children and kind of their struggle and how incredibly strong they were. I wanted some way to kind of give back to the community and to help these kids myself, but I had no idea how to do it. And then I ran across this story of this guy, Lenny, on the East Coast, who had the full-on legitimate movie-quality Batman suit and a Lamborghini, and would drive up and down the East Coast visiting kids at hospitals. And I said, wait, if Batman can do this, then Captain America can do this. And so that's where this whole idea started to kind of formulate as to, okay, how would that work? What would it look like? And, let's just do it. And so we launched, it was just me by myself at that time, just launched at Denver Comic-Con 3 years ago, and, just kind of told everybody about the cause. I still didn't know what I was doing. And then just only in the past year, I've had Rebecca to kind of get things officially kicked off.
It's always good to have help, right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
yes.
definitely.
I don't know that it would have gone anywhere. My schedule is so crazy, but thank goodness she's been able to kind of direct where things need to go, both legally and just logistically.
Do you run into a lot? I've heard that while charity seems easy, that it's very hard.
Oh, it's so difficult.
Tell me about the struggles that you guys go through, because when I heard that, I was like, what do you mean doing nice stuff for people is hard? But I've heard that there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through.
So the initial paperwork was absolutely just insane, just the amount of time that it took us to fill everything out. You basically have to promise, I will not take a profit from this company like 1,000 times before they actually approve you. We were shocked because there were so many like little things involved in things you have to do this specific way to get the IRS to approve you. We were amazed that they approved us first go. So that was
most organizations have to submit 2 or 3 times to get 501c3 public charity status.
Okay.
Yeah, we like to say we have more rules than money.
It's so true. It's so true.
That's a good way to look at it. So does this come from, did you have experience with cancer yourself, someone in your family? Why? I mean, lots of things you can do out there to help people. Why kids with cancer?
So for me, it was, I'm from Atlanta originally. I was working at the Legoland, I was working at the Legoland Discovery Center out there. And we had this little girl come in several times, and we always let her in for free, but her name was Dahlia. She was 5 at the time, and she had gone through cancer 6 times already. And just getting to know her family and the struggles that they went through, because it wasn't just the cancer treatments themselves. It was the fact that Dad lost his job, spending all this time at the hospital with Dahlia. And she was just such a trooper, such a fighter. She always had a smile for everyone, always had a nice thing to say, and just kept her humor throughout, even when she was in horrible, horrible pain. And so getting to know her, I ended up hanging out with her family quite often and just spending time with her and raising a little bit of money for their family. And so I kind of got to see where the need was. Yes, there are company or organizations out there that will... What was that beep?
It's my bad.
Okay.
I'm typing stuff to people.
Gotcha. There are organizations out there that will help with just medical bills, or that will do like what Make-A-Wish does and, give children these wonderful experiences. But there aren't any that help with the in-between, of just the day-to-day, how do we make ends meet? So that was what I kind of brought as an idea. Sterling had started the charity, didn't really have like a direction he knew for sure he wanted to go, but Dahlia was very close to my heart, and I kind of got to see firsthand where her family went through. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh.
And so that was our inspiration for that.
So this comes from a place of love.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
Both of you guys.
Absolutely.
And that's great to hear. And Captain America, is that your favorite hero? Is that why you choose? I mean, you do look a lot like Steve Rogers. When I picture Captain America in the comics, when I saw you today, I was like, holy shit, that guy looks like Steve Rogers, man.
Yeah, I've always loved the character growing up in comics and the little bit of media that was out there. There's some cartoons and there were some TV shows. The old one, I think in 1970s, 1980s t-shirt.
There's a really bad
show.
80s movie,
it was terrible.
too.
Yeah, that too. But I always identified with the character of like always doing the right thing, even if it's unpopular with those around you and that sort of thing. But always going for what's right, and that resonated with me and always has. It just fits my personality, and she'll tell you all the time that it's to a fault.
He's a Gryffindor, like he just fits everything to a T. Like he is Captain America. It's kind of disgusting.
Even when you speak, and take this as a compliment, even when you speak, you come off as a very reserved, like Captain America would be. Captain America is a very even-keeled guy.
Yes, absolutely.
And so you looked up to him. Was it from the comics? Is that where it started, or was it the cartoons?
So the comics, and just generally, I think I might have had a comic or two way back when. And then the cartoons, and there was a few to where I got to see him as a person, like what kind of guy this guy is, and so I always loved him for that. And then the new Marvel Cinematic Universe, of course, that comes out, first Avenger, and like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. This guy's fantastic. So definitely, the way they portrayed his character in these movies, it's like, okay, yeah, that's me. So to the T. So that's why Captain America resided for me, and that's kind of part of the CAP for Kids. Is a little nod to CAP, but it also stands for Cosplayers Against Pediatric Cancer. So, but it's certainly a nod to CAP for sure.
Well, it's
Wow.
great that you guys have taken something that you love and that we all love, and normally the geek industry, if you will, there's a lot of people that prey on it, and a lot of people that are here strictly to make money. You guys are here to help, and I mean, two of the best pieces of memorabilia, if you will, those shields over there. Tell us a little bit about those, because I know everyone can't see them. They have two very movie-like Captain America shields, and they're signed by a guy you might have heard of, Stan Lee.
Yeah, you might have heard of him,
Maybe.
Just
maybe.
So that was all of this has kind of grown organically, and of course Rebecca's kind of like honed things and focused things to kind of go the direction.
I'm the Cap Wrangler. That's
It's part of her title. So initially, when I said, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be Captain America, and we're going to build this charity thing, not even knowing what direction it was going to go. Well, Cap needs a shield, so I got into the replica prop forum and started connecting with some guys on there and just kind of figuring out what they do and how they build them. And so then I built my first shield, and that first year, everybody came up to me, oh my gosh, that shield's amazing, and where'd you get it? Oh, I made it. And they're like, oh, I would totally pay for that. I would totally buy it. And looked into the concept of, okay, maybe I could sell these or license them through Marvel or something, and just wouldn't work out lucrative wise. Then I thought, what if we got these signed? And then this whole thing kind of came up. Well, we'll never really get anywhere as far as selling them, even if we sold them for $1,000, as far as being able to really make an impact. Because, well, we'll get into how we impact the families here in a moment, but that just didn't scale. So we said, well, what if we use them as kind of like a marketing focus to where we do a giveaway each year? So we make these shields. I make them in my garage, and then we get Stan to sign them, and then we can, it's a huge draw at Denver Comic Con. We always have a line that's 30 people long at the entire con. People wanting to sign up for the shield. So we've part of that whole it's so difficult to do good, as Becca was saying, and she goes through all this stuff. Like it's not legal in the state of Colorado to do a raffle unless you're a 501c3 or a nonprofit organization registered in the state of Colorado for at least 3 years, and that's on the Secretary of State website. And so we said, okay, we can't do a raffle. That would be really lucrative. A lot of companies do that. But what could we do? And then our kind of sponsor at Brent's Place, that has just kind of taken under their wing, saying, okay, this is how you should get started. And they've really helped us a lot. I said, well, you should do an opportunity drawing, which means the first one, if somebody wants to enter to win, it's free. And then if they want to pay for additional opportunities, then they can. And so that's where this started. And Rebecca has been huge about kind of making that all happen. And so yeah, we have 7 signed by Stanley now. We've got 3 more coming like next week. So
you built those?
Yeah, I build them all. So I work with a company out of Denver, Iowa, that takes the aluminum and spins it for me to my exact specifications, and then I hand cut and weld the brackets on the back and do the leather, and then the star itself. I go back and forth. Some of them, like that one, I think that star I did myself, and that one I had Steve Radke, who runs. I forget what his prop. I should be able to tag him there, but if you just Instagram Steve Radke, he comes up. But he makes star kits and bracket kits and that sort of thing, and he's helped us out quite a bit. So, but yeah, I do make them, and we're gonna just use them every year as kind of like just to get people to come and hear about our cause, and we give away. I should back up. We gave away my first one to CNN. There's a whole story there if you want to hear it. It's a great story.
Yeah, we'd love to hear it.
The second one we just gave away as part of our official Cat for Kids drawing last year to a lovely lady, Nefertiti was her name. She's out of Denver, out of Aurora. So she won that one last year, and so this blue one we're going to be giving away at the end of this year. For the first shield that I made, slightly rounder than this, but not much. It's pretty close to what you're seeing. CNN called me up and said, we kind of heard about you, heard you make these shields, and we'd like to hear more about what your charity is and that sort of thing. And so we got to talking about that, and they said, well, we have this kind of situation where we do this show to where it kind of highlights viral videos and things that are going on. And what happened here is somebody took a viral video on their phone of a car accident, and the car was on fire. Somebody was trapped in the car. I think it was turned over. And then this guy comes up just first on the scene, just a civilian guy or just a guy comes into the scene, not law enforcement or medical or anything like that. But he sees that, and he runs and pulls somebody out of the car. He's wearing a Captain America shirt, and so he pulls somebody to safety right before the thing goes boom. It's like it was like it was a Hollywood film.
Yeah.
And and after that they kind of did a special, like they're calling him Captain America, and actually he is a captain in the Army.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they said, what we'd like to do is have you do a video presenting him this shield, and as kind of the service, service award, if you will. And so we did that, and he loved it. He cracked up, and he's like, this is awesome. And so that's how CNN ended up with the first shield.
And we weren't upset to see that one go, because that one was made out of steel, and it was
heavy.
quite heavy.
That was really heavy. These are aluminum.
So a lot easier to lug around a con then.
Yeah, they're like 15 pounds, whereas that thing, I don't know how much, it was really heavy.
How did you get Stan involved in this? Because you have to have some sort of relationship if he's signing these things for you.
Yeah, so that worked out. I don't know, do you want to tell that part of the story?
I don't know the beginning of it. That was all you. So.
So yeah, so when we were still getting going, before I had Rebecca on board to kind of help out with this, actually she was just joining at the time. I knew I wanted to do this. I said, okay, well, we could do a giveaway, a raffle, and still figuring that out. But if they had Stanley's signature on it, they'd be able to pull quite a bit more. So I went and took 2, not these 2, but I think a couple others, took 2 to Kamikaze, Stanley's Kamikaze. I think they're calling it Los Angeles Comic-Con now. Took those to him, and then got to meet him, got to meet his wife, got to meet his team, and got talking with the team as to what we do and what these are for. because I'm like, I'm not selling these, this is for our charity and this is what we do. And then they really liked what we do. And incidentally, greatest compliment I've ever got in my life. We walk out of there after meeting Stan and talking with the team. These two guys, and like burly guys in security uniforms, like, "Sir, can you come over here?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, what did I do to Marvel or Disney?" Like, somebody's pissed. And they pulled me to the side, and there was this little old lady. They walked up, and I was like, "Oh, they want me to meet somebody. I don't have no idea who this is." And the guy whispers in my ear, "This is Stanley's wife." Like, okay, Stanley's wife. Okay, good. And she's like, "I just wanted to tell you that you look just like him." I'm like, oh my God. I melted on the
I was about to say your heart had to melt at that point.
I'm like, okay, that's. I don't think you can get better than this. So anyway, that was just a little side note. That was kind of fun. But they heard about what we did, and from then on, I've got a whole. There are friends on Facebook that are on his team, and I just say, hey, can we get just a few more? And is there anything we can do to give back? I mean, I don't want to be asking all the time, and they're like, no, it's totally. We love what you do. We'll take care of it, no problem. And so we got 3 more that are coming probably next week. So
I'm glad Stan's behind this because that has to help you guys out just a little bit.
It really does. Having that kind of backing, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we've been nervous. I mean, we don't sell these shields, and we get asked that every day, several times a day on Instagram and such. But we know several people who have tried and like tried to profit off of that. And of course, Marvel jumps on them really, really quick. It's Disney really wasn't really Marvel. Their I think they must have an entire building of copyright protection lawyers and such. But so I knew right away, like I can't, certainly can't sell them. But having at least a few people, and there's been a couple others that are at least connected to that organization that are like, and we still haven't gotten to the core saying, okay, you are officially blessed by Marvel. We're hoping to get that because that backing would be good.
I'm surprised Marvel hasn't done that.
I don't think we've gotten to the right person yet. So It's just a matter of getting to that. We've got a few publications coming out this next month.
You got to go straight to Joe Quesada, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think there's a few publications that are coming out that are going to put us on the map here in the next month or so that will get attention, hopefully, of those folks and then be able to say, oh, here's what we're doing.
I'm sure you've thought about this, but have you reached out to Chris Evans? Because I know he is huge into charity.
I have not reached out to him yet. I haven't had a channel. I mean, his social media, he's sporadic at best on that, obviously, because he's got like 1.5 million followers or something like that on Instagram or Twitter. So that's not a viable channel really to reach him. So if anybody knows Chris and wants to kind of tell our story, and we'd love to meet him. And there's a million ways that we could work with them. We have kids, we have little boys that they're maybe terminal, kind of around the edge, and they would love to meet Chris Evans, that kind of thing. So there's an opportunity there, or just getting one of the shields signed by him, or something like that would be phenomenal, or just getting his blessing, saying, hey, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and you mentioned helping the families earlier. Talk to us a little bit about what goes into that.
Certainly. So like I said, we want to take on 3 families this year and hopefully quite a bit more next year. The gap that we fill right now, there's a lot of great organizations that help out in the tune of gas cards and just little stuff to basically a limit of basically $1,000 per family, if you will. Looking at a bone marrow transplant. Bone marrow cancer, $1 million. So maybe hopefully they have primary and secondary insurance, but a lot of them don't, and so it's just devastating financially. So we can't do anything to the tune of $1 million, at least not yet. We'll have Rebecca guide us on that in the years to come. But for right now, as we've told the IRS, we will help out to the tune of $10,000 per family. So, and the other thing is we won't just do gas cards. We'll actually get a hold of their mortgage company and pay their mortgage for them. We'll get a hold of Children's or Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children, or we haven't extended that outside of Colorado, but we will, to where we'll just pay their bill. Say, okay, they owe this, and we'll pay this much on the bill. So that's how we help. Right now, our first sponsored family, they're lucky enough to have, and we can talk about Ella. She's amazing.
Oh, she's incredible.
It's a tough story because they were a single income family, and then Dad lost his job because he was spending so much time with Ella while she was going through treatment.
Which is a story we hear, unfortunately, all too often. Like it's heartbreaking the number of people that have said that that's the case. Like there has to be a better way to do this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, your child is, and we'll tell Ella's story in a moment, but this particular family, they had primary and secondary insurance, thank goodness. Dad lost his job, so that's what brought them on our radar. But they weren't completely devastated because they had some investments they could lean on a little bit. But they're still running super lean, and they're at a different house because they had to sell their house and they go to something cheaper. So we're helping them with like plumbing and transportation and. There's electrical work that needs to be done to get the house livable and things
plumbing.
like that.
It was a really it was foreclosed on, and the previous tenants did a number on this house. There was a beehive inside it that they had to have removed.
So that's kind of for them. That's how we'll help because like they were lucky enough to have that primary and secondary insurance. Most of our families won't be quite that fortunate. But if you'd like to hear, I can tell you more about. Actually, she can tell you more about the family.
So Ella is this fantastically sarcastic girl. She's 10 years going on 17.
I like her already.
Has the eye roll down perfect, and she's amazing. But she just turned 10. They discovered that she had cancer the end of last summer, I believe. And gave her basically less than 1% chance of making it. And the doctors even said, don't bother with treatment because we don't want to put her through all that pain and stuff, and it's not going to work. But she had tumors. She had a huge tumor in her abdomen. She had a tumor on her spine, in her chest. It was just all throughout her body. And they wanted to do a little bit of radiation on the one in her spine just to relieve some of that pressure and make her a little bit more comfortable. And the tumor ended up responding really, really well to that. So they took a look at that and said, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. If she's going to respond this well to just a little bit of radiation, let's hit her with the full thing. So how many times has she had chemo?
I thought it was originally 7, but it's actually 10.
10 times. And they even did a bone marrow transplant. They took out her own bone marrow, stored it, and then zapped her with really, really strong chemo and then put her bone marrow back in it. And all this time she's had complications from every single procedure, and now she's actually kind of on the road to recovery and is doing really well. And she just kept her humor and her good spirits through all of it. She's really, really done an amazing job. So she's our first sponsored kid, and we're very, very happy we can be helping her.
We got to spend some time with her not last week and the weekend before. We just brought him food at Children's Hospital. She had actually been discharged from Rocky Mountain Hospital from children, and then she was back home, and then she developed a really high fever. So they're like, okay, gosh, let's get her in there. So they flight for life her back to Children's, and so while she was there, they just put her on antibiotics. She was fine. So we came and brought her pizza, and then the next day brought her some donuts, and just hung out with her, and yeah, just they're just amazing, and just being able to see the strength and fortitude of these children, it's beyond anything that, and she said, we were sitting there just talking about her story and our story, and she said, I wonder who's the bigger superhero, you or me? And I said, it was most certainly you. Most certainly by far you.
You guys are going to make me cry.
And she puffed up. She's like, yeah, maybe I am.
It is. She just totally knew.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's, and getting to know these kids, now it's not even an optional thing. This is our life. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's in our blood at this point.
Yeah, we have to help these kids, and we know there's many, many more. We were at Cure Search a few weeks ago. We do a lot of partner events with Brent's Place and Children's Hospital, Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children, and we were at Cure Search, and it was amazing to see all the kids go across stage that currently were going through cancer treatment, and then ones who are in remission, and you could just see there's so many kids that need help and families that need help, and so we're in it for life.
That's amazing. And I think, I know a lot of charitable organizations are kind of hands-off. They get the money, they help out, and that makes them feel better. Yeah. You guys are the definition of hands-on. I mean, when you talk about these kids, it's like you're talking to me about people in your own family, and that shows through your facial expressions. I mean, no one would ever doubt y'all's genuineness. And, I mean, talk about doing an amazing thing. So I want to know, not only for Tyler and myself, but for our listeners, how can we help?
Right now, the biggest thing we need is donations. That might have been different a year or two ago, but now that we've got our first family and we want to take on 2 more this year alone, we have $30,000 to raise. So we've got a ways to go. So you can go on to capforkids.org, and that's CAPFORKIDS.org. And then there's donate buttons all over there. It's you can make a donation. It's all, of course, talk to your tax advisor, but it's, we are a 501c3 and
Yeah.
they are tax deductible donations. So that's probably the biggest thing.
And second is just spreading the word. I mean, like we've mentioned, we are trying to get in touch with not only like some of the higher ups at Marvel, some of like Chris Evans' people, but also you never know who you might know that could potentially be a huge donor. Like we've got a couple of donors that are waiting on moving some money around that are prepared to drop, several thousand on us, and we're looking for more donors like that because we need to get these funds rolling as soon as possible before we can take on another family.
Yeah, corporations as well, because
Yeah.
every company has charitable donations towards the end of the year, and now's the time to hit them. So if anyone knows or just wants to go to their, if you like our cause and what we do, if you want to go to your company, if you make it, first of all, most companies, especially large organizations, will match a donation. So if you wanted to make a large donation and get with your company, they'll match that. It's like I said, we can give you our EIN number. It's all completely legitimate. Or if you want, a lot of organizations will do they'll say, okay, this particular charity is our charity for this year, and we're going to do this event and that event and this, and it's all going to go to that charity. So if there are any companies out there, organizations that are looking for a charity, hey, we need the help.
Yep.
Well, we're going to do the best we can to spread the word, and not only here locally, but we have fans actually all over the world now. And this is something I truly believe in. I work in healthcare, and I know how effed the system is. It's terrible, and I help older people out with their Medicare and things like that.
Yep.
And even when I'm breaking it down, I'm like, how does any of this ever how did this ever get on the table to where this is what we're dealing with now in this country? Right. Acceptable is a very good way to put it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I appreciate that. It's an important thing.
No, and so I know we can find you guys. We will definitely link to you guys. And I just want to say from myself and from Tyler, thank you for everything you do. I don't think we could have ended the live stream today any better than this. And we don't often take things down to a serious note here in the Bit Cave, but this is something that's important. And thank both of you for doing something like this, because often at cons, there's a lot of memorabilia, there's a lot of salesmanship. It's all about capitalism. You guys are really here, and you're involved in the geek community because you want to make life better, not only for a kid who might not be here for a long time, but you want to help their family out through that process. And what you're doing is very noble. And thank you both. Seriously, this is awesome.
Thank you.
Of course. We ready to wrap, Tyler?
We are. I'm just posting up, of course, capforkids.org. So it'll be up. Thank you guys very much. Sorry I didn't talk so much.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, Tyler didn't talk so much because all he's been doing today is drinking. So.
I have been, honestly, but besides that, it's been humbling to listen. Obviously who I work for can't donate because we're a nonprofit as well.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yep. But yeah, no, it is. It's been very humbling to listen. So.
I'm almost curious, too, because the company I work for, and I guess I can mention them, I work for USAA, they went from strictly United Way to now employees. We do charitable donations, and we have a choice of 3 organizations. I wonder if there's a way maybe we can get you guys to be one of those choices, because we're a pretty big company, and I'd like to
definitely.
say, and Junior Achievement actually is one of the choices now, and I know Tyler works for them.
That's who I
so.
work for.
Okay.
And that's, used to just be United Way. Now we have 3 or 4 choices, but And I tell you what, guys, I can't make any promises because I'm very low on the totem pole, but I definitely see what I can do.
Just put the suggestion out there, see what happens.
There's nothing wrong with trying, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know what? That, to me, kind of makes sense, too. USAA, military, Captain America.
Captain
There you
America,
go. There you
it
go.
kind of fits, right?
I think
it
so.
fits.
I think so.
Pretty sure he was in the military. He was a captain. So.
I mean,
Captain. That's right.
there's at least something there
Absolutely.
to be said.
Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention.
Please.
Rebecca just got us on smile.amazon.com. So if you need to buy anything on Amazon.
I have continuously been clicking X because I'm not sure who I've wanted to support.
Oh yeah, it's tough.
Now you have
there's so
someone
many
to
good.
support.
There's so many good charities out there. So we're not trying to be selfish, but if you like our cause, then just remember to go to Smile rather than go dub. So
Well, you're certainly going to get our support. This is the first con we've ever done. You guys happen to be across the way from us, and I've been interested all day, but I can't see why we wouldn't want to put this out there. And we have no problem mentioning it. Whatever you guys need us to do, seriously, because this is awesome what you guys are doing, man.
Appreciate
And it's very humbling to me to hear you guys' story. So thank you for sharing it with us today.
awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
Fantastic. Rapping?
Rapping.
All right.
All right, thanks guys.
Because I have everything shut off here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
There you go.
I just want to put it on the charger when I'm not, might as well leave it on there if I'm not
All right.
messing with it.
Go ahead and close this out.
So you've got,
Give me just a second.
Take your time.
Well, I guess that's a wrap here, Tyler, from Cosmicon. How much did you drink today?
You know, it honestly hasn't been that much, and I've had a lot of fun today. We've talked to so many great people, cosplayers, charitable organizations, just all sorts of people, and it's, you know, leaving certain places, it's been kind of exhausting talking all day. Today, I can honestly say I'm going to go home and just have fun.
I will tell you that my voice is pretty shot, and you know I talk all day for a living anyway. But I think everyone, I'm safe to say that everyone that sat down today, except maybe the High Priestess, had a really good time. So
The High Priestess had a good time. I made sure of that.
You turned me on all day, baby.
I turned her on all day.
anyway, I also want to say, you know, I want to send a big shout out to Super Dave. Because we would not have been able to do any of this. We wouldn't be sitting here today, Tyler, interviewing awesome people if it wasn't, you know, Dave having faith in us and Dave setting the interviews up for us today and making sure that we had a good place to do them. Right. And I know he spoke about our partnership earlier, but I just want to say that thanks Dave for bringing us on board and bringing us here. You know, Big Show Entertainment Network. I mean, Bitfaced is a part of that. We're our own thing, but we're also going to be a part of the network. You will see us on Tech Toys too. We will definitely be doing some video game related stuff there. Big Show Games, Tech Toys, right?
That's right.
Fantastic. So this probably won't make it into the final episode. We will be cutting this up and putting it out over the next couple weeks. We'll cut out some good stuff here. And also, we talked to a lot of people today that will be probably coming to visit us in the cave. So we'll do some more episodes based on this, a little bit more long-form interviews.
We got some swag, too, and you know what? They gave us their opinion, but I think we should take a vote all the way up until DCC 2017 of our partnership cosplay.
Okay, we'll figure it out. They did give us that, and then I guess I'll put this out there to the live stream. Our guest next week is our good friend Danielle Page. She's got a movie coming out, Room for Rent. It's actually launching on Halloween, so we'll interview her right before that. We're really excited to have her on. We haven't seen her or talked to her since March. So I'm really excited to talk to her about doing the horror movie. So I guess we're about to pack up here from Cosmicon. Tyler, anything you kind of want to finish with? I mean, we can't get a better ending than what we just did with Cap for Kids, can we?
No, you know what? I don't even want to take away from that. I just want to say, if you needed a cause, Cap for Kids, you know what? I'm a huge comic book fan, and these kids need help, and their families need help, and it is a huge burden, so help out Cap for Kids.
All right. Well, I'm not going to get better than that. Very happy to be here today at Cosmicon, live streaming the whole day. You know what? I'm with you. I'm normally really tired after these events. I feel pretty energized. We got to see a lot of old friends today. I haven't seen Elijah Montoya in forever. I wish he would have came by and talked to us, but you know what? I know we can get him on the show. So
he's the Flash. He's running around so fast, so busy.
As soon as I see Elijah smile, it lights me up. That's why I made the joke earlier about that being the only guy I would ever sleep with, because good God.
I was on the other side of the table for that joke, and I don't know what all happened.
Elijah's awesome. It was good to see him. We got to see our friends from Geeks Gone Rogue today. We got to see our friends from Kapow today. We got to hang out with Super Dave and the Big Show all day. You got to flirt with the High Priestess all day. What better day than this, right?
I don't know, man. Maybe next con.
Okay, well, I think it's time to pack up the gear. And what is next con? Rocky Mountain Con?
Rocky Mountain in 2 weeks, I think.
Rocky Mountain Con in 2 weeks, and we will be there on Saturday for that con as well. So, checking out today from Cosmicon from the live stream, across the table from me, as always, the chairman of the board's drunk off his ass today, but that's okay. That's how you like him, and he made some really good jokes. Tyler, run TRG Glaze. I am Eric G. Hollis, and we are out.